he is like a really charming guy. He just like can't help but be charming.
Yeah.
He's like the perfect person for this role.
Yeah.
Because for a large part of this movie, I did not feel the girls were in danger at all. Until it became like apparent like that they were, I was like, oh, he's just trying to teach them a lesson. Like, it's no big deal. Like, I think that's indicative of his performance in this, which was phenomenal.
This movie pissed me off. How can you have such a good trailer and such a strong, let's say, first half and just not be able to finish? Like, it literally suffered from the exact same thing as Long Legs. Great marketing, not as good as marketing as Long Legs, but still good marketing and a good trailer. And then it just cannot finish. They just dropped the ball completely. As soon as they went into the basement, it was just downhill from there. They even suffer from the same shit of like, oh, you got so much going on and you don't know how to tell the story that you are just giving us all of this exposition the same exact way as Long Legs. And it's like, dude, this is miserable now. Like, just way to ruin it completely.
They were a little zealous with the exposition, I feel, so I can kind of see where Marvin's coming from there. I thought it was good, though. I thought Hugh was amazing. This isn't his first villain role. He was great in Operation Fortune with Jason Statham and Aubrey Plaza, where he played Greg, and he's like this unassuming bad guy, and you just kind of like, great. Until he's not. Yeah. And he's like, I'm the motherfucking bad guy. And you're like, okay, that was fucking awesome, Hugh Grant. Thank you. The film was set up really good, I feel like you get the introduction of these girls and their day-to-day activities, carrying the bike up and down the hill, what they do, going to houses, trying to get people saved. And you kind of get an idea of like, it's good character creation and character build up. And then they get to the house and you start to figure out what's going on, but you really don't. Because you're not sure. You're going to be like, is this going to be like a Saw where he starts, locking them up and chaining them up and cutting body parts off? Or is this going to be something completely different? There's some really good thriller aspects and whatnot, but it does feel a little slow at times when it gets to certain points. You're like, okay, come on. We don't need to hear. It feels like this guy is also a tinkerer. So he's going to be very precise and intricate, even though he did make some mistakes. And she catches on to some of those mistakes, which is pretty cool the way they did that as well. No, I thought it was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. It was suspenseful until it wasn't, so I'm kind of with Marvin on that, but I liked it.
The exposition piece, like, it was laughable how bad it was. In anime, there's like some time where the anime explains like what they're doing and how they did it. And it was like that way too in your face. Like, I did not like it at all. It was not good.
I agree with Marvin 100%. It felt like identical to Long Legs. It's like they downloaded like a fucking outline for a script that's like tells you like plot details, and they just filled in their own like story into that outline. Yeah. Because it has the same beats. It like literally opens the same way, in the sense of like you're given this like setup, and then like you meet the characters and you kind of get this understanding of what's going on, and then the movie completely shifts gears, and then it like they just dump it all on you with zero respect for you as an audience member.
Dude, it's insane. Like, oh, the key wasn't mine because you put the key in the pocket and snuck out. While like, dude, what is happening? Why are you telling all of this? Like, this is not working. It's just not working.
They don't let you like figure out literally anything. Not a thing. And then there's things that the movie like kind of like makes specific points to like show you that never come back into focus. The dripping from the ceiling with that like water collector thing that like spills up. Like, they just kept pointing to it, never once revisited it to be like, this is what that was. And honestly, I was really left with the fact that like I don't even understand the fucking point of any of it. Really. Other than like the final like, oh, it was control or whatever the fuck. Interesting though, and this is maybe where we deviate, I didn't think of any of these things while I was watching it. It wasn't until after. I was like pretty like locked in because of the performances, which I thought were like the complete standouts of this movie. Hugh Grant as Mr. Reed just destroyed this movie. Like, completely owned this movie, commanded it every second he was on screen, which is the majority of the movie. And honestly, he's like pretty scary of a guy. I don't think the movie was scary at all. He disarmed me with his charm, because I don't really get scared by this stuff. And I'm also like, I don't believe in any fucking thing. So he's talking, I'm just like, yeah, absolutely, he's right.
As soon as the wife didn't show up the first time they asked, I was like, nah, this is...
No, absolutely. I mean, the trailer also, I saw this trailer a while back in theaters, and like the scene where she notices the blueberry candle, like it's in the trailer. So like,
Yeah.
And also the trailer ends with like that shot of coming out of his like model of his house. So you
Right.
have some sort of understanding of like, this is like a trap that he's intricately set up and all this stuff from the trailer alone. So I knew from the beginning, obviously, he's not a trustworthy individual. I'm just saying, like, the way his acting is great. I see how, combined with the fact that they are there to do a job, that not seeing out in a respectful manner would be considered like sinful to them, combined with his charm and charisma, how like these girls could like get caught up in his facade. But to be fair, a lot of horror movies do that stuff where the main characters will fall victim to like some stupid shit because they're stupid. That didn't happen in this, actually, which I appreciated that. I'm sure Dusty did too, Mr. Drax over there. Soon as they got hint that he was weird, they were like, fuck it, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Gotta go, yeah.
But but they couldn't. So it's not like they were just like, yeah, sure, we'll come trotting through your weird house with you. Sophie Thatcher as Sister Barnes, I thought she was really good because she plays like the stronger of the two girls for the majority of the movie. And she like dealt with some shit, and she came to Philadelphia, and her mother turned to Mormonism after her father died. So like you could already tell her like her faith was a little bit shaky to begin with. And so when it's tested, she's like, she fights back with like, you know, her intellect and stuff like that. And then Chloe East, the Sister Paxton, she's portrays more of like that like timid and nervous person who just at some point decides to like become a completely different human being at the end of the movie, I guess, which was a little bit jarring and bizarre. But regardless, I thought the acting was all like really, really solid.
You got these two girls. One seems like pretty devout, like excited about the word of God and wants to save people. And she's the one that gets handed the blade and is told to kill somebody. And it's like, you realize what you're asking, right? Like this girl that's trying to save people's lives. You're like, when I say the word, you stab him and kill him. Like that's not very believable.
Obviously, this movie goes into the complexities of like faith, particularly its power to provide like purpose and resilience, but also its susceptibility to exploitation. These young women, they're in a position where their beliefs are tested against this evil dude. You know, his whole thing was to like, I guess, prove that religion is fake. This is where I kind of like don't even understand.
That's what I thought originally too. But
more than about it's just about control. I mean, giving yourself up to something that you could just give yourself up to anything if that's the point, and that's kind of what the point of what it was. Is he's in control, and he's got these people to follow him. This is like the most extreme version of what a cult would be, I guess. Like somebody that's able to get people like living in freezing conditions in cages, still will get out and do their job, like play the dead woman, eat the blueberry or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he controls all that.
Though. Like they were doing that, but it didn't make sense why they were so controlled by him. Him tricking them didn't make any type of sense as to where they got like into like such levels of subjugation. Like it didn't make any type of sense.
No, it just felt like a way to like, oh wow, this is cool to write. The same with like Long Legs, where it's like, oh, that'd be cool to put that in there. Like let's throw that in. It didn't make a lot of sense. Like, and I was fully on board for the first half of this movie because
me too.
Because like again, I'm an atheist. Okay, I'm listening to this guy. I'm like, yeah,
he's right.
Absolutely. Fuck yeah. Fuck that.
He's cooking.
He's cooking. Let him cook. But again, none of it really goes anywhere. And then, okay, so then when they get into the basement, there's like a brief, interesting little thing where it's like, oh, I witnessed a true miracle. Like this woman has come back to life. Like, and I could tell you that religion is fake, but it is based on like a real truth that was like lost over time, and religion became a means of control. So you're like, okay, well, what's the truth then? Where are we going to get to? Are we going to get to the truth? And like, again, none of it really goes anywhere. And so by the time,
control was what it was about. I think it was what the point of it was. Is just about controlling the population.
But that just doesn't make any sense though. Like, what is his end goal? To like, why is he torturing these? Like, what is the point of all of it? You know what I mean? To just prove to two girls that like,
right. He just wanted more slaves, I guess. I don't know what his point was.
He's bored. He's bored and he's playing games with humans.
I would have enjoyed this more if his end goal was to like fully break them down and like make them to non-believers. Right. If they went through like a series of trials and all this.
This felt like thematically like a worse Saint Maud. That movie is about a devout believer versus somebody who is not. The clashing of those two ideologies.
Yeah, you didn't get that dynamic though here.
Exactly.
You didn't get it at all.
That movie was brilliantly done, and so those themes are like very, very brilliantly explored, where here it's like these people believe in God, he doesn't, clearly. Like, okay.
Yeah, she's a fake NPC who had her throat cut and then magically comes back to life.
That made no sense.
Made no
what
sense.
Is he talking about? I was like, I thought this guy was smart. This guy's a fucking nut now. And it just pissed me off. Like I said, like Dusty mentioned, like Saw-esque setup with the trap house and all that. Like that would have been a better route. Not like Saw traps, but like I said, like some type of series of them going through like these religious themed something religious themed, like challenges, trials, testing their faith or like breaking their faith or whatever the case. That would have been better than this fake horror that we got. This wasn't even like wasn't even like psychological horror. I don't know what this was.
And then like for no reason, talking about Saw, there's like that random moment of like gore for no reason that like made me want to jump off a building, like where he grabs her fucking vein.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I was like, ah! It's like that came like out of nowhere. And so yeah, I don't know. I just didn't really feel like there was any like actual like meaning to this whole thing. I don't think there was any lessons learned by anybody. I don't know what his driving motivation was other than like control. I get that the movie was trying to like challenge viewers to reflect on their own beliefs and like the strength of our convictions. But like I said, Saint Maud is a movie that does that better. Like way, like completely different fucking universe.
You would have been better off sending one of them down to disbelief doorway and the other one down to belief to see the difference in what happens, rather than both like going down and one of them dying randomly and then the other one getting real smart and figuring out how to with the guy.
Out of nowhere, she just became Tony Stark.
She took the fucking pill that what's her name took from Hangover.
Yeah, she took the limitless pill. The equations running through her head. Like she literally became Tony Stark. She's like, Jarvis fucking swiped her watch.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, I hope I could. I'm gonna try to find like an anime villain, like
she was
telling his entire plot land, and you go like, oh my gosh, that literally is the exact same thing.
I don't believe you. There would have to be another way out of this room, unless. And she like looks up. And
unless,
and it's like. Secret door, fucking chamber. You just wanted to challenge me to make me believe this. Like, I was like, holy fuck! Like, what is going on here? Where did this all come from? I don't think it really matters in the long run, but they don't. The movie like doesn't explicitly tell you what his belief really is, like if he even has one. But when she's walking through his little like cave of mystery, there are some like satanic symbols on his walls and stuff, and like
that's what I thought. The true religion.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, he's a saint.
Oh, he worships Satan. Right?
The Dark Prince, baby.
That would have been more interesting than what we got. Also, what would have been more interesting is if they just leaned more into the actual like supernatural
anything. Really.
This chick actually was resurrected, and he did figure out some crazy thing or something.
That's
right?
What I originally
that would have been
thought.
more interesting.
I was locked the fuck in when he was like, no, there's like
oh shit. Yeah, he's onto something.
I discovered the true thing that religion is based off of. And I was like, oh, fuck, is this just some like earthly thing? Like some powers of the, like, you know, whatever it might be, alien shit? Is it a Matrix? He starts talking about Matrix shit. He's like, we're in another reality. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is like a darker version of the Matrix. That's kind of cool. So, again, it's just like a lot of like cool stuff that they just like are fucking vomiting onto you. And then they just never really
too much.
Go through it. I guess the satanic stuff you see is just because he's like very studied in like all religions. Like clearly he knows his shit. So it would stand to reason that he would also study Satanism. The movie ends in a very ambiguous way. Now I'm real fucking tired of how ambiguity, especially in horror movies, is used just as like this low effort, like just, all right, wrap it up.
That's it.
What do you think, audience?
It's a cop out.
It
could be anything.
What do you think? What do you think?
I'm sick of this. It's like weaponized ambiguity. It's enough.
I think there's two conclusions that a lot of people in the audience came to, that this is actually Sister Paxton's like dying hallucination, because there's a lot of talk about hallucinations when you die, and that's what dying is.
That's true. Yeah.
That any person who has died, their telling of what they saw or the afterlife is just your brain firing weirdly as you're dying, right?
Jacob's ladder.
Yep, exactly. I guess people say she actually died, and that was like her last hallucination, is that she was saved by Sister Barnes.
That kind of makes sense, because there's a point where she says when she dies, she wants to come back as a butterfly and land on someone's finger, and then that's what happens.
Well, this is where the ambiguity is fucking stupid and cheap. Just, if you're a faithful person, you will see this ending as Sister Paxton lives, she escapes, and that is Sister Barnes telling her that she's still with her and that everything's okay.
Right.
Just letting her know that there is an afterlife.
But there was a cut where the butterfly wasn't there, like she imagined.
It's not even a cut; it just disappears. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They give you they literally, in the most neatly and cheap, low effort way possible, tell you it could be anything. Whatever you think is what happened, and I hate that.
Yeah,
and I'm sick of that.
Too open-ended. Dan hates it, but this first half, crazy potential. It's like when you're playing a fighting game, you got the combo going, and you just drop it.
You just slip up one little button slip.
Oh, and then you die. It's like, oh.
Well, it's got a 7.0 on IMDb. I can't be that favorable. I have to go down to a 5. Why are you laughing?
Yeah, nah, it's real. It's a 5.
Yeah, it's a real 5.
Real 5. Sad.
Yeah. I give it a 5.5. I don't think it's a 2-point dip. It wasn't terrible.
You know what this movie was like?
It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. Like, this is a movie I didn't mind having it on. I wasn't fully invested into the movie the entire time I was watching it. I watched the whole thing beginning and end, didn't pause it or stop it, but I did lose interest there towards the end. Like, all right, this isn't over yet. So.
Just stick to your guns. We don't need the movie to turn into fucking Beau is Afraid in the middle of the fucking movie. Yeah. Like, that's what we don't need. Just stick it through. A normal movie can be fine, guys.
But yeah, let us know, folks, what you thought of Heretic. I mean, it had a lot of hype around it. I don't know about hype. It didn't have the same hype as like Long Legs, for sure. It didn't have that type.
Nah, it wasn't.
But people were talking like favorably about it. I was excited to watch it, and you know, it's something. If you've watched it, let us know. We're curious what you guys thought about it. Leave a comment down below. Let us know if we missed anything. I'd be curious.